What is something you know is real but others don't seem to believe in? The amount of people that don't know narwhals are actual animals. I own a children's education company. One of the topics we cover is explorers and polar regions. On a weekly basis, a teacher will tell me at the end of our performance that they had no idea that narwhals are real. Restless leg syndrome. People think it's just being a little uncomfortable and not finding a good position to sleep in. It's actually an uncontrollable urge to move your legs that feels almost like muscle spasms, and it is absolutely maddening. Weirdly, if my cat is sleeping on my bed, I can pat him and it makes it stop. I have no idea why. Because cats are magic. Any ailment has a two-part solution. Drink a glass of water and pet a cat. Problem solved. Even if you still have the ailment, now you're hydrated and have pet a cat. It's a beautiful thing, really. Fun fact: it's now called restless limb syndrome because some people, including myself, have it in the arms. Being unable to force myself to do something with ADHD. It is like I'm physically restrained when I try to force myself to do something at times. Laying there telling yourself, get up, go do it, just start, but the ignition will not turn over. I friggin' hate myself. Same. Like an invisible force field holding you in place. I've been hungry for an hour. The kitchen is one door away. I have all the ingredients for a PB&J, which actually sounds decent and is a very easy meal. Cannot get up to do it. The sensation of deja vu, whether real or not. I believe that our best theory regarding deja vu is that it's when an event is miscategorized into our long-term memory as soon as it happens, instead of short-term memory where it belongs. So while thinking about the thing that just happened, we're accessing the part of our brain usually reserved for more distant memories, thus making us feel like it happened before. How crippling the pain from menstrual cramps can be. I have endometriosis and it's absolute hell. My sister does too. I'm child-free, but she told me that when she was in labor the first time, she didn't even realize because it wasn't as painful as her period cramps on endo. She asked the nurse when it would start, and the nurse looked at her with raised eyebrows and was like, like an hour ago. And yet I've had an actual doctor laugh in my face at the idea of getting medicine to help with the pain for my cramps. Nobody takes it seriously. It really, really sucks. I fucking dread my periods because I can pretty much count on there being 1 or 2 days out of every 29 or 30 when I can barely even stand up. I have to save any sick time or time off for those days if they fall during the work week. But everyone is so dismissive about it. I believe you 100% because that was me, especially as a young woman. I'm done with it all now at 57, but I will never, ever forget that pain. It's absolutely traumatizing to go through that every month, and I'm convinced it's a big reason I never had kids. No way I'm signing up to go through something supposedly more painful than what I've already experienced. I was never diagnosed with endometriosis and had never even heard of it back when I was going through this. But the severity of my pain makes me think this is what might have been causing it. As you say, what makes it even worse is nobody believes you. Men don't get cramps, and most women don't get them anywhere near so bad, so they can't relate. So sorry you have to go through this. I spent 25 plus years thinking cramps just were debilitating for everyone and I was a wimp. Turns out I had severe adenomyosis, cysts on my tubes and ovaries. Hysterectomy was the best thing I ever did. My teenager unfortunately inherited it, but we've been very proactive, and she had a laparotomy about a year ago, and they excised a few lesions and placed an IUD. The surgeon we took her to said, "Contrary to popular myth, your period shouldn't hurt. Discomfort is normal, pain is a concern, talk to the doctor." I've never felt so heard. Concrete boats. Rare, but they do exist. Everyone I tell thinks I'm winding them up. I also saw a video about a sawdust ice mix to make a boat too called pykrete. I believe most people aren't actually working in offices, and we're all sitting here trying to fake each other out with the goal of seeming necessary. My coworker and I were looking at cake wrecks on her computer. My boss came in but couldn't see the computer screen. She offered to come back later since I was busy. There are studies on the subject. Roughly 50% of office jobs are bullshit jobs that aren't necessarily at all, except to satisfy the requirements that those same jobs have put in place. The summum of the self-fulfilling prophecy. The tangible and intangible benefits of exercise. Very true. As I sit here having my daily panic attack, refusing to go take a walk around the block even though I know it's going to make me feel better like it always does because my anxiety is telling me, this time is different and you'll die. Dumbest medical problem on earth. Thanks for giving me a sign to make myself walk. Which is so weird because we understand animals need to stay active to be mentally well. Sleep paralysis. I told my family about at dinner once and they acted like I had schizophrenia. My son's girlfriend has narcolepsy. When she explains her symptoms, even healthcare workers jump to mental illness, because it's so rare, and they aren't familiar with the symptoms, which include cataplexy, sleep paralysis, hallucinations, etc. Narcoleptic here. If I were to describe some of the early onset REM nightmares I often have within literally 3 to 4 minutes of my head hitting the pillow, you'd probably think I had a screw loose. Incurable diseases. I have multiple sclerosis, and I hear a lot of things day to day like, you're just too dedicated to your diagnosis, or, have you tried the Walls diet, or, have you taken magnesium supplements, or, you need to be more positive, or my favorite, it's okay, God has a plan. Having experienced the actual thing degrading my brain for 8 years, done high-dose chemo and a bone marrow transplant, and poisoned my immune system over 200 separate times, I can definitively say that some processes, death, degenerative neurological diseases, autoimmunity, etc., are unavoidable and something people don't always actually have the power to beat regardless of the amount of positive thinking, dieting, or exercise one does. Nothing better than painstakingly explaining to someone that your disease is chronic and permanent, and getting hit with, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hope you get better soon. This might off the vein a little, but my answer is, bad things can happen to your child as a direct result of your negligence. People truly don't believe that their child could be internally decapitated, mangled, or die of internal injuries because you didn't enforce the right kind of car seat or even a seat belt. Children 3 to 8 are the largest demographic I've seen that are injured in car accidents as a direct result of being improperly restrained. And people don't believe it. They don't believe that not doing any child restraint research and lacking in their own due diligence can lead to their child's death. Source: paramedic. In a similar fashion, not wearing seatbelts when going slow or in parking lots. Had a friend who was an actuary for a massive insurance company. He once told me that one of the largest categories of accidents resulting in permanent disability were car crashes under 20 miles an hour. And a lot of times they didn't pay out for those as well. It doesn't take much to permanently damage your spine, and getting rear-ended and thrown forward suddenly in a Best Buy parking lot is often enough. That much of what we remember isn't real. The brain is a sieve, losing memories. It fills in holes of knowledge with assumptions, interpolations, and justifications. And the more you actively remember something, the less accurate the memory tends to be. Me, when I tell people I have aphantasia, I can't picture things in my head, and vice versa when people tell me they can picture things in their heads. I always find this so fascinating in threads like this, because I can picture you not being able to picture things in your own head. That's evil. OCD can be a lot more debilitating than people realize. No one tells you OCD isn't just what you see on TV. It's not just counting things, skin-picking repetitive behavior. Having debilitating intrusive thoughts that overlap every waking second of the day that cannot be stopped is a level of exhausting I haven't been able to relate to normal people. Can't sleep because brain won't turn off with normal sleeping meds? Hello, addiction to substances that shut the internal monologues off just long enough to fall asleep for a few hours, then rinse and repeat until you almost have enough sleep. Major depression and a full-blown panic attack. No one gets it unless they've experienced it. You can't get autism. It's a neurodevelopment disorder. You are either born with it or you don't have it. Vaccines can't give you autism. Tylenol won't give you or your baby autism. However, genetics will. Bang an autistic person and you will likely have autistic babies. When the baby has it, likely someone else in the family has it as well. That when you chase the validation of others, the only thing you get is tired. That nuclear energy is actually the cleanest, most powerful way to power a community. People hear the word nuclear and freak out. They think that somehow they have a bomb sitting in their community. They think Chernobyl is the norm. In reality, there were a lot of things that led up to the Chernobyl disaster that would not happen in any of the modern nuclear reactors that provide power to much of the world. With good regulation, safety, standards, and upgrades, nuclear power is clean, plentiful, cheap, and efficient. But people get so freaked out by the word nuclear, they assume it's bad and they'll put oil in the furnace instead. The power of a large amount of people to get together to make a positive change. Most people think you can't change things, or even gather people together for one purpose for that matter. But I think you could, if you really wanted to. Only issue is nobody is so motivated that they motivate others nowadays. Even motivational speakers need motivational speakers nowadays. And it shows when we watch them. Nobody can just simply take pride in who or what they are anymore. It has all become an unending competition of who is best. Unions are good for workers. That people living in the late stages of dementia are still people with valid feelings and deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. What is something you know is real but others don't seem to believe in? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.